Hi, I'm Bob Tabor with www.learnvisualstudio.net. In this module, I'm going to demonstrate how to page through query results using continuation tokens. So recall that there's a 1,000 entity limit on entities retrieved from Azure Storage Tables. And I said in order to get around that, you can use this object called continuation token, which is like a bookmark in the results so that you can request the next 1,000 entities until you get to the very end. And so there's two examples of this that I want to show you so you can reference them yourself and find the one that works for you and then use that. The first one is from the quick starts. Recall the quick starts can be generated by going File, New Project, Install Templates, Visual C# Cloud Quick Starts, and then find the Azure Table Storage Quick Start, and then click OK to create it. I'm looking at line number 304. Here we're doing a query against the data. We're searching for, within a partition, for a set of entities that fall within a specific range, and then we're going to page using continuation tokens. So the first part of this is just building up the query like we talked about a couple of modules ago. The second part that's interesting is that you create an object of type table continuation token, and then you, in this particular example, you can set it as a property of the range query to take to say I only want 50 entities at a time. And then you call the execute query segmented, in this case the async version of it, passing in the query itself that you've defined plus the continuation token. And what's returned back to you as you make that call is another continuation token. So you can keep looping through with the new continuation token until you get to the very end. All right, so that is one example. I'm going to show you a more simplified example. I think it's simple, that I created, and you can run, I believe you can run this locally, but you can definitely run this against a real Azure storage account. Here what I'm going to do is actually write 5,000 rows, or rather I should say 5,000 entities to a new table, and I say, yeah, this could take a little while, and then I start querying them out and put them into memory. And here I'm grabbing out, I'm not calling the async version of this. Instead, I'm calling just the execute query segmented method. Notice that in this case, I'm not even creating a new table query with any filtering. I'm just sending in a new one with no filters defined. And then I am also passing in the current token. Now, the current token will be null the first time through the looping, but after we execute it the first time and we get the query result, then we can request the continuation token that was returned back to us in the query result. And so then while the token is not null, we'll continue to loop through and continue to retrieve another 1,000 rows, or rather 1,000 entities, and just to load them up into memory. And then I say, well, you don't believe me that I have 5,000 entities. I'm going to go ahead and loop through each one of them. Okay, so it's a pretty simple example. Hopefully with the commenting and everything, you can use this as a good example of what's possible. And let me pull this in. Looks like we got to the first part, writing 5,000 rows to Azure Table Storage. This could take a while. If you look at the code, notice that I batched up these writes. And I'm just writing pretty much random data. And now that I've got all of these written to Azure, and then I started retrieving them back, and each time I wrote them back, retrieved them back, I just printed out a little statement. Okay, I've got the first 1,000, I got the second 1,000, third 1,000, fourth. Now I got all 5,000 loaded into memory. Do you want to see them? Yes. And now it just prints them all out. So I just created random GUIDs and then a random number here and just a value. And you can take a look at how I actually did this with, let's see, yeah, the audit persistence class, how I actually created all those audit events and then batched them for insert into my table. So take a look at this example too. Hopefully between the two, you'll be able to not only create batch inserts, which you probably should have seen from the previous module, but now you can also retrieve back either taking 50 at a time or taking 1,000 at a time and then working with them in memory. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. That demonstrates how to page through those results. from the resulting entities from queries inside of an Azure storage table. All right, so let's continue on with the next module. We'll see you there. Thank you.